And even Russia gave a shocking response. We'll get into it right now. Respect, family. It's amazing having you here again. Things are getting so interesting daily in the Sahel. But before we get into it, kindly subscribe and like the video to stay updated. Recently, we all witnessed the unfortunate trend of an attack which happened in Mali. Attack which resulted in the death of Mali soldiers together with Wagner group. This attack, according to information on the surface, was carried out by the Tuareg groups. But we know that there is something more to that. And that is a fact. For a common rebel to be able to engage a trained army like the Wagner PNC on the battlefield for 3 solid days and was able to somehow, anyhow, claim victory, there's something more to this. They can't fool us. We are not in 1620. All right. Now, after the attack, while thinking and investigating those behind the attack, and then boom, on July 29th, Yusuf, a spokesperson for Ukraine's military intelligence, said on Ukraine public television that Malian rebels had received all the information they needed to carry out the attack against the Wagner PNC, which he referred to them as Russian war criminals. Now, Mali's government responded with outrage, accusing Ukraine of being involved in what they describe as a cowardly, treacherous, and barbaric attack by terrorist group that resulted in the death of Malian soldiers together with the Wagner PMC group. And then after that, Mali has decided to cut all diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Why? Because this high-ranking Ukrainian official, through his statement, admitted that they play a role in this major attack. So Mali practically ended all the relationship with Ukraine, and they even went to the extent of telling them that they don't want their embassy in their country. Now, in late July, we all know the Tuareg rebels group in northern Mali claimed they unalive at least 84 Wagner mercenaries and 47 Malian soldiers during 3 days of fighting. This battle, together with the defeat, is considered one of the worst for the Wagner group since they became involved in Mali's conflict 2 years ago. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. In related move, Niger has also cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Surprisingly, the military government of Niger stated that this was done in solidarity with Mali, who also cut ties with Ukraine 2 days earlier. Now, both nations refer to the comment made by the Ukrainian officials as the reason for their decision. Lovely people, this is the unity we are preaching about. This is what we want, standing with our brothers in difficult times. Anytime the enemy moves against our brothers, we need to stand with our brothers. We need to stand in solidarity with our brothers, not stand against them, like what ECOWAS is doing together with the AU. And even Russia gave a shocking response. We'll get into it right now. You see, Ukraine recently, when we look critically, you realize that Ukraine has been working hard to gain allies in Africa during its ongoing war with Russia, possibly to counter Russia's increasing influence on the continent. However, this incident, or what is happening right now, has strained relations between Ukraine and several African countries. Because the thing is, if you are sponsoring terrorism, how am I going to work with you? I should be afraid of you. Now, Niger becomes second African state to cut ties with Ukraine. Some African countries might follow Mali and Niger in cutting ties with Ukraine. Right now, all eyes are on Burkina Faso. All of us, including you, we are all waiting to see the reaction of Ibrahim Traoré. Is he going to cut ties with Ukraine? You know, but the question is there any relationship or any relation between Ukraine and Burkina Faso in the first place? Under normal circumstances, all Africans need to end their relationship with these guys because Mali is our brother. You don't work against our brother and expect us to work with you. Now, before I tell you the shocking response of Russia in all this, recently, Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, tried to stand with Ukraine. Ruto, also of Kenya, told Zelensky that he supports him. Now, in a video recently, the president of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, was seen gossiping to US Secretary about Burkina Faso. So some African leaders, especially the puppet, will always stand at the wrong side because of greed. They will stand against their brothers because of greed and wickedness. Now, in response to Akufo-Addo's betrayal of Burkina Faso, surprisingly, this is what John Mahamah, the main opposition leader, which is also the former president of Ghana, this is what he said. He spoke wisdom and condemned the act of Akufo-Addo. Watch that quickly before we move forward.
And so we know what is happening in Burkina Faso. Indeed, we should be working closer with our comrades in Burkina Faso. Unfortunately, this government has created some tension between us and Burkina Faso because our president went and opened his mouth too wide. You saw the video. He went and was doing concern about your neighbor. We all are here. We are suffering. America called you small, and you are so excited, and then your neighbor, you are doing concern about him. and so it has created some diplomatic tension. He went there, went and apologized, but still it's not the best. So when government changes, we have to go and talk to our neighbors, because we must work together. Indeed, the whole anti-terrorism strategy of this sub-region was done in Accra. It's called the Accra Initiative. And so we are the hosts of that initiative. So we must be reaching out to them and seeing how we can collaborate with them in order that we quench the fire in their houses. Because if there's fire in your neighbor's house, you don't help him to put it off, it will spread to your house. And so I think that we must improve our relationship with Burkina Faso.
You see, that is the truth. Putting all our political sentiment aside, this is the truth. We need to work with our brothers. He also mentioned that we are all suffering, and then you got a small invitation to USA, and then you went there to do kokonsa, which means gossip. Now, let's go back to the story. Now, in Moscow, over 70 mourners gathered to pay tribute to the Wagner fighters who were unalive in July. Flowers and candles were placed at a memorial to honor the fallen fighters. Now, the latest right now is that Moscow has also accused Ukraine of opening a second front in Africa. This happened after Mali and Niger cut ties with Ukraine, accusing it of supporting the group. As I told you earlier, Niger's military government announced that they are ending all relations with Ukraine immediately, and they did that. Now, how did Russia reply or respond to all this? On Monday, Russia promised to continue offering extensive support to Mali. They said they are not backing down. Russia's deputy ambassador to the United Nations stated that the cooperation between Russia and Mali, along with the military government's decision to choose its own security partners, is causing so much concern about the Western nations, and he doesn't know why. He emphasized that Russia will keep providing Mali as well as other African nations seeking support. They will support them with comprehensive assistance. This help will be offered on bilateral, equal, and mutual respectful basis, he told the UN Secretary Council. Lovely people, don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well. In the pipeline is ECOWAS setting up organization or forces to go after Niger. They even sent some delegation to Niger. There are a lot of things happening there. I'll put it out there in the next video, so respect.